Hello, my friends. This is Otaku Cook, and today I'm making falafels. So, let's get right into it. The first thing we'll be making is our dough for our pita bread. Now, this is something that I do just to see whether the yeast is usable or not. Is to add warm water and sugar and let it sit for about 15 to 20 minutes and see whether there are any bubbles that are made from the yeast or not. This gives me the indication that we are okay to go. And don't worry about the sugar, it won't make the dough taste any sweet. And I'm also not going to add any salt right at this moment. Now that 15 to 20 minutes have passed, I could see the bubbles and smell the yeast. At this point, I'm going to add some flour in it. I'm not using any bread flour, I'm only using some regular all-purpose flour. You will require 250 grams of flour for making about 4 medium to large pita breads. Now, you only require a little of that 250 grams of flour at the beginning. All you have to do is mix in some flour and let it sit for about 15 minutes until you see the flour foaming. Now when you start seeing the flour getting fluffy and foamy, this is the time to add the rest of the flour. But make sure to add it gradually, little by little. When you add the flour, start mixing the dough with the water. Keep mixing it until you feel like your spoon or spatula or whisk can't do it anymore. This is when you start kneading. Now when you start kneading, you will notice that the dough is getting stickier and stickier. This is when you incorporate your flour little by little and try to make a smooth dough. Also make sure that you scrape all the edges while you knead. When the dough gets smooth and when it stops sticking to your hand or the bowl, that is when you let it rest for about 30 minutes or until it triples in size. Now is when we add our salt and oil. I'm using regular olive oil over here, nothing extra virgin or anything fancy like that. And the reason why I avoid using salt from the very beginning is because the variety of yeast I'm using is pretty cheap. So many times what happens is it starts killing the yeast from the very beginning, preventing it from releasing as much carbon dioxide as it can. This prevents me from getting the first rise that I require in the first resting period. Now, of course, you don't have to do this. This is my fail-safe method of making any kind of bread. Now, all you have to do is make sure that the salt and oil is completely absorbed by the dough. And when that happens, knead it a little and make it smooth. And let it rest for about 15 to 20 minutes or until you start making the bread. Meanwhile, we can start making our falafel and hummus. So for our falafel, what we require is broken wheat or what we call in Hindi dalia, and for our hummus and of course the falafel as well, kabuli chana or chickpeas in English. So you need to soak your kabuli chana overnight and the dalia well approximately half an hour to 2 hours. It depends on the quantity of course, but it doesn't really take too long for it to hydrate. So we'll start with the hummus first by cooking it under a pressure cooker. All you have to do is add a good amount of garlic in it and salt. That's it. And let it cook for about 30 to 35 minutes or until you get 3 whistles. Back to our dough again. Now all you need to do is divide your dough in manageable halves and then take one of them and roll it into a cylinder. Then divide that cylinder into sections preferred to your size, depending on how big or small you want your pita bread. Once you're satisfied with the size of the section, all you need to do is roll it into a ball and let it rest until you start rolling your pita bread and cooking them. The other thing that we need to make is pickled vegetables, which is super simple. Although it is optional, I do think it's necessary, so you better make them. All you have to do is cut your vegetables into matchsticks. Now it doesn't matter what vegetable are you using. I'm using carrots and radishes, but you can also add beetroot in it, and beetroot goes very well with falafel. But if you're doing it, make sure that you're doing it separately so that it doesn't stain the other vegetables. Now the size and thickness of these matchsticks really doesn't matter. It all depends on your preference. If you like them thick, cut them thick. If you like them thin, cut them thin. You don't even have to cut them. You can use your mandolin and just slice them into thin strips. That will also work out very well. So these pickles are basically your game. Do what you want with them. Play around. Don't forget to add peppers in your pickles. It brightens up the dish with some heat. You can use any pepper of your liking. The ones that I'm using are not necessarily that spicy or hot. If you like them hot, you can always use a hotter variety of it. And if you don't like them hot, that's fine. You can just use bell peppers. Now the brine is very simple to make. All you need is sugar, salt, and some white vinegar. And in that add some water. That's it. And then put it on the heat until the sugar dissolves and you start seeing a little bubbling. And that's about it. Just pour that liquid on your vegetables. And yes, please don't forget to add some garlic as well. Back to the dough again, just roll it into a circle. You don't have to roll it too flat, just roll it enough where the thickness is about 1 to 1.5 centimeters. The making of pita is very similar to making a chapati or a paratha. So treat it like one. Roll the dough the way you would roll a chapati or a paratha. When you're making pita, make sure that your stove is at low heat and that you flip the bread after 5 to 6 seconds. Don't worry, your dough will not stick. When you flip, wait until you see some bubbles popping up. When that happens, start moving your bread. As you keep moving it around, the bubbles will start getting bigger and bigger. that point, you need to flip it. This will help create the pocket of air in between your bread. Now all you have to do is flip it around once or twice until the dough is cooked all the way through. Also make sure that you push the air on places where the dough has not separated yet. And there you go, that's how you make your pita bread. Now that our bread is done, we can focus on our falafel. We'll start by chopping our dill. You don't have to finely chop them, just give them a rough chop, just run your knife through it. After that, roughly chop some garlic. Now put your uncooked chickpeas and broken wheat in a blender and give it a run until it gets smooth. Make sure that you also add some water in it. The soaking water from your chickpeas will also do. When it's all smooth, add your dill and your garlic and run it through once more until all of these ingredients are incorporated properly. Finally, add some salt, coriander powder and cumin. Roasted cumin would be preferable, but I got too lazy. But it turned out pretty well, so it is quite optional. Run these through as well. And once that is done, you are ready to fry. Frying falafel is very straightforward. Use an oil that has high smoking point and neutral to taste. Now the size of these is completely up to you. If you want them big, have them big. If you like them small, have them small. Just don't overcrowd the oil. And yes, as one side starts to turn golden, flip it. Of course, this all depends on how much oil you're using. Since I'm not using that much, I have to move it around to avoid burning. But if you are using plenty of oil, you pretty much don't have to do that. Again, with the hummus, it's pretty simple. All you have to do is put your chickpeas and garlic into a blender. In that, add tahini paste. This time, I couldn't get any tahini anywhere, so I had to make it myself. So again, if you could get good tahini, your dish will of course be better than mine. Now in that add salt, olive oil and lemon juice and then give it a run until it gets smooth, very smooth. And that's about it. Your hummus is ready. Now lastly we have to make a yogurt sauce, which is super easy. All you need to do is get some yogurt, add some of your chopped garlic and your chopped dill in it and season it with some salt. And that's it. Your yogurt sauce is done. Mix it well so that the garlic and salt and dill is incorporated well with the yogurt and you're done. Super simple and super tasty. And that's how you make your falafel. Hope you enjoyed the recipe. If you did, please hit the like button and subscribe. This is Otaku Cook. Until next time.